So my
It's
next
really
question is going to be then, how are you going to maintain that? And let's say you dominated the market, you took over the market, then you're obviously going to start charging me somewhere else.
No, there is no charge to the driver, full stop.
Please like, subscribe, comment and hit the notification bell for any future videos.
Taxi! Well, welcome back, Lorenzo. It's good
Thank
to see
you.
you. Since you was here last, you was with LEVC, but now you've moved on?
I've moved on. So December, I left LEVC to work for Taxi World. Taxi World offered me a role that I was really quite excited about. So it's not just about Taxi World payment systems and meters, but Jump as well. So they've introduced or launched a new app for passengers called Jump. So that really excited me. And I felt that, do you know what? After 26 years of selling cabs, running Brewery Road, sales manager, that sort of thing, for me it was being able to stay in the trade that I love, still get involved with the trade, but a new challenge and just, change, something different.
It's a good challenge because basically Taxi World, they control the credit card machines in the back of the cab.
Yeah, payment systems, meters, cameras, all of that sort of thing. So,
And we're now linking it with Jump because you were telling me, Paul, there's some clever aspect with the fact of the payment system and the fact of having an app.
Yeah, it's just an add-on. That's why I got involved and excited about it, is because I've been trying to, align myself with an app for a long time. I've tried different avenues. We've been here before, been talking about...
We promote all the apps.
Yeah, we try and promote all the apps. But I felt like this one was the next level. I think it's one we've been waiting for. It's a shame it wasn't here a long, long time ago, to be honest, because it's bespoke. It's the right thing. It fits into a system that's already there. So the cost and the overheads of an app that goes on your phone for the driver isn't there. So you get all these drivers going, when are you going to bring out an app for the phone? I mean, I don't know whether that's a part of the plan. I don't think it is, because this is what keeps it viable, I think.
So what's the perks then, Lorenzo, of this new jump to other apps?
Before we carry on, I just want to give a quick shout out to the team at FeedSpot, who recently featured Wizan on their list of the top 100 London podcasts. We actually came in at 79, which we're really proud of. You can check out the full list at podcast.feedspot.com/London_podcasts. There are some great shows on there about London, life, its people, and of course, the taxi trade. Big thanks to FeedSpot for including us, and thanks to all you for listening, because it's your support that keeps Wizang moving forward.
So over and above, I mean, Paul, I think we've talked about this before, and a lot of people have said you're a bit late to the party.
Yeah.
I actually think that we're bang on with it, because the apps have been out there, the other apps have been out there, they do what they do, and I think, we've come in at the right time in terms of, over and above the other apps, there's no commission to the driver. No commission. And that's a promise that Taxi World have made, forever. That's how they advertise it. Also, there's no additional fees for passengers. So there's no surcharges, no booking fees. So they literally will just pay what's on the meter.
So how do you earn your money?
So how we earn our money is obviously... we've got 6,000 plus vehicles with payment systems in them. We give the payment system to the driver for free. We install it, we fit it up. We give them the added benefits of like the cameras as well. Hopefully try and keep their insurance premiums down. If there's any footage that's needed for accidents and stuff, we can do that. So cameras, payment system, the support in the background is... is probably the best support I've ever seen anywhere for anything. They really pride themselves on making sure that they're there to support the driver and the passenger. So every card transaction that's made in the back of the cab, then obviously there's a processing fee to the driver, and that's where we earn our money.
But that sounds a little weird. So sorry for me to be ignorant. Let me just get my head around it. The card machine exists anyway, and the fare exists anyway. So the processing fee would exist anyway. So this doesn't sound like any extra revenue other than revenue you would have got anyway.
We would have got, but we wouldn't have necessarily got the job for the driver, if that makes sense. So that job that customer, so the customer downloads the app, requests a cab to come and collect them and take them wherever. We might not have got that job. That job might have gone elsewhere.
Yeah.
They might have used a different app. We might not have got that job, or that driver might not have got that job. So
Your credit card machine would have still paid for that job.
No, because if it's going on one of the other apps,
Oh, I know. I get
the
it.
other
Sorry,
app,
the
app is,
Yeah.
is processing the fee.
beforehand. Okay.
So
Sorry, I keep imagining the machine
yeah.
in the back.
Yeah.
So now it's
No, that's right. And you know, like if for every £100, £60 might go elsewhere. But obviously, Taxi World have seen that, you know, actually that £60 we want it in the back of our cab to be processed. You know, they're not going to hide that fact that they just want more processing fees.
so you are going
it's
to
a lot
earn
lower.
enough money on processing fees alone.
we just, you know, so obviously there's a lot to pay out for. You know, you've got all the equipment in all the vehicles, you've got the support, you've got the staff and everything else. For us to be able to bring Jump into this, then the processing fees and what we earn a little bit out of it. When you take everything out, there's still a profit. But reinvesting that into the trade in terms of Jump jobs, launching Jump is just another benefit for a driver to have our system. We don't need to earn money off of the drive anymore, off the driver or off the passenger. And if that means that the passenger is going to use the cab more, then that means you guys or the drivers are going to get more work from it. So where passengers are being charged surcharging and booking fees and everything else, potentially that's going to slow people down in terms of using the cabs. They won't use the cab as much, and I've seen that firsthand with passengers where actually they're not worrying about all the fees. They're using the cabs more because they're not worried about looking at their statement and all of a sudden seeing that they've been charged extra over and above the meter.
I dropped a guy off the other day on a Jump job, and he said, and I didn't have a big conversation with him about it because he was on a phone call. But as he got out, I said, "How are you liking the new app?" I dropped him off in Camden Hill Road, just off Camden Hill Road. And he went, "I love it." He said, "It saves me £30 a day." I was like, "How?"
Saving.
And he's like, "Well, the surcharge is because I'm going in on Get, you know, in and home through rush hour. I get surcharged basically every day. And the costs are between £12 and £15 per time I come. So the job is daily because he's going to and from, you know, his workplace. I can't remember where it was from now. But he's paying a surcharge on it every day. So these apps have got your credit card details in the system, so they can put on whatever charges they like. And if you want to contest them, you can. But 9 times out of 10, people don't. These high net people, they're not going to contest it. They just pay it because they think that's the only service they can get to get their cab when they want to get their cab. The good thing about Jump is you pay in the cab.
Isn't
So
that
you use the
true?
credit card machine yourself. So you're
In control.
You're in control of your payments. They're not in control. You're used to using apps. So basically, what's happening is, you know, people just get out when you drop them off. So you've got to remember that you've got to take their card payment before they get out. But yeah, you don't have to give your address. You just give your email address if you want a receipt, your phone number, so that the driver can contact you. That's it.
But isn't it
So
the
basic.
saving you mentioned? Isn't that true across any app that isn't based on a PHV app? If you're using a black cab, you don't get that surcharge at any stage.
On the other apps, you get surcharged. All of them do it. All of the apps.
Jump is the only one that doesn't.
Jump is the only one that doesn't. Every single black taxi app charges the customer something.
If I
Charges
has
the
a
customer.
£2 charge though,
£2.
fixed
Yeah,
charge.
that's fine. But, you know, it's above the meter. You know, whatever intentions that these companies have got to do good and things like that, great. But at the end of the day, you're charging the customer
You need
above
a
the
running
meter.
cost. Yeah. So
Above
I can
the
understand
meter.
that. I have always felt, to be honest, that this has always been possible. That I don't think the investment required to make the app is actually as great as people could portray it. Certainly with the way that the technology has moved on and the fact that all of the problems that you'd get from developing this kind of app have all been solved. So there are people out there that can make this app, which you've obviously made.
Yeah.
And then the actual costs of that operation, I would have thought was quite small. I've always thought it was quite small.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of that side of it. You know, I've joined it late on when everything was kind of ready to go, sort of thing. But we own all the hardware, the software, the developers work for us, you know, so the nerds, we call them. But, you know, so for them, anything is possible, you know, but there is a cost attached to all of that. But we can do this, you know, we can do this without having to charge anyone anything, and that's how we'd like it to stay. So everything that we do in terms of Jump, you know, the support that we've had from drivers, passengers, you know, drivers telling passengers, passengers telling their friends, etc.
Yeah. So you can you give me numbers on that then? How many drivers? How many passengers? How
No,
many
I,
friends?
no.
Well, there's we said
couldn't.
already, there's 6,000 roughly vehicles on the system already,
Yeah.
which gives efficiency. So, you know, like
You
I
mean
said,
6,000 drivers using the card machines?
well, you've got that amount of kit fitted in cabs. So virtually half the fleet has got this system.
Yep.
So it gives efficiency to the passengers. So back in the past when I've tried to work with these other apps, intentions are great. You know, you sell it to your customer, they download it, they'll ask for a cab and they won't get one. So they won't use it again,
Yeah.
you know. Whereas Jump is the complete opposite. Jump is efficient. It knows where all the cabs are.
It already knows where all 6,000 cabs are?
Roughly, yeah, it does.
So-
The system has got cameras in every cab. It's
Sorry,
got
I want to
systems.
interrupt you here.
Yeah,
so
go
I
on.
get some
No, no.
understanding here.
Yeah,
Basically, 6,000, all the drivers that are on the thingy system are already on the system.
Correct. Yeah, they've already got the ability to take
be on the system.
jump jobs. If they're in the vicinity, they will get
A notification.
automatically. They'll get a notification to say there's a job here. Accept or decline.
Oh,
And it's
right.
fastest finger.
Yeah. So basically,
it's not
because
fastest finger. You sure?
Yeah.
I thought it gets
Quickest.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it goes to the first one, then to the second one. Then to
No,
the
it
third.
basically puts it out to the 5 closest vehicles.
Oh, the 5 closest. So it's not
And then-
everyone.
No,
No, it's the 5 closest.
Yeah, yeah. So it's
Yeah.
the 5 closest. So that
Yeah, that's
way
what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get a quick response. You know, the stats are between 7 and 10 seconds. The job is accepted by the driver within a minute and a half.
so
It's
you've
at
got
its
one base.
destination.
You've got one base completely covered, which is fantastic. The only other base would be whether you get the passengers to get on the app.
Yeah. So the drivers have done an amazing job with that as well, and I'll go on to a little bit of what else we're doing. But the drivers have done a great job in terms of a lot of them carry our tip seat advertising in the back of the cab, where you can download the app. The passenger can download the app. They're also giving cards out. We give the drivers all cards and leaflets and things like that, so that they can give cards out to the passengers and sell the app as well. So, you know, roughly, you know, in terms of figures, you're looking roughly 200 odd downloads of the app per day, which is amazing,
Right.
really. So it's doing a great job. You know, we're also out on the field where we're talking to hotels, restaurants, corporate companies as well. So we're in the background doing that. We do a lot of that, and we've gained quite a few hotels and restaurants, corporate companies as well. We're starting to gain along the way as well.
And I think the key thing is efficiency. So when customers download it and they use it once, they save the money and it gets you a cab. And so they're binning off the old apps. Like
Yeah.
that's the key thing I've noticed, and that's where you're getting the growth, because then they're saying this app's brilliant and they're telling people.
It's working. When you take away, you know, when I'm talking to hotels and concierges, doormen, corporates, and when you take all the fees out of it, do you know what? It actually just becomes a very reliable system, because the drivers want to do it. The passengers are not getting are not being charged any more than the meter, so therefore they're happy. If you pay by card, we get the processing fee, which helps us to then feed it back in, sort of thing.
If you get
So
paid by
everyone's
cash?
happy. If they pay by cash, then the driver gets 100%.
Oh, my
We don't ask for anything, you know. So we had an email come in I think it was over the weekend, where a passenger was, "I'm loving your app. The driver's attitude when they arrive, they've noticed is completely different."
Yeah.
In a really good way, in terms of
Positivity.
the positivity.
I'm actually earning what I say I'm going to be earning. I know I'm going to get what I'm deserved
So
to
the
get.
driver is now coming across to the passenger a lot better, you know, in terms of they haven't got that 15 or 20% or whatever it is. So therefore, they're actually happy to do the job and like doing the work. So, you know, it's really coming across to the passenger, where the passenger's like, "Do you know what? I use it all the time now."
The other thing I've had from my drivers and other drivers that I've spoken to is, I don't do app work, but I do this work. I said, "Well, now you're doing app work then, aren't you?" And they're like, "Yeah, but. And the but is, it is the same as the street, but digital. It is." I've had some people say to me, "No, it isn't, because of this law and that law." But, you know, all right, whatever. But you're paying the same.
It sounds
All right, it's
exactly
not,
like
it's
that to
not
me.
instant, as in you don't stop where they actually flag you, but they're seeing around the corner and whatever. I've only done 3 jobs on it so far, but they've all been really close to where I've been pinned, really close. Like between one was 0.2, one was 0.1, I think, of a mile. So the running was whatever.
You put the running on?
No. But whatever it was, obviously I didn't gain that because I put the meter on when I arrived. I didn't give them any free waiting time, but 2 out of 3 of them were there waiting for me. So the other one wasn't, but he had boxes. He was loading up with boxes. I'll give him an hand. I was more than happy to give him an hand, you know.
I always would.
Yeah. He had a few boxes. He was going to whatever, you know.
So my next
really
question is going to be then, how are you going to maintain that? And let's say you dominated the market. You took over the market, then you're obviously going to start charging me somewhere else.
No, there is no charge to the driver, full stop.
So it's like you just coined the phrase that it's like street work. It is like street work. I'm certainly know what I'm
just
going to
hailing
be doing.
you a
I'm going to
cab.
be like, "Listen, please, can you pay by cash?"
You can't do that.
No?
No.
Why not?
You're coercing.
You got to look at it as so we've
It's a JV, man. It's a JV.
Well, yeah.
Joint venture with the driver.
You
Be
guys,
nice.
You know, we're helping by getting more people in the back of your cab. We want that's our aim. Get more people in the back of the cab using the credit card system. If they don't and they use cash, fair enough. But to take a job and then say, "Can you pay cash?" is kind of, in my opinion, a bit of a kick in the teeth, in terms of, you know, look, we've gone to the trouble of putting all this together and it costs
It's a bonus. If that happens, it's a bonus, isn't it?
No, I'm afraid you know that taxi drivers will not mind kicking you in the teeth. No matter what.
Yeah, there is that. I
So-
mean, there's been instances, isn't there? We know, but you know,
How do you know? I mean, what's stopping me from saying, "Have you got cash?" I mean, if you got cash, that'd be great.
at the end of the day, like I said, it's a joint venture.
I'm
It's
going
your
to steal
business.
from you as much as I can. I mean, basically, I'm on a win-win-win-win if I keep getting cash, except for the collapse of Jump would be the outcome of that.
Yeah, of course.
Because there
You've
would
got
be
to
no
look
income
at,
whatsoever. would there,
You've
for
got to
Jump?
look at it. You've got to look at it in a sensible way. It's like, you know, I'm giving you something really efficient, a bit of bespoke equipment to run your business. It's a joint venture. Let's work together. Let's not try and be clever, because it won't work in the long run. You know, it'd be short. That's short-termism, Dean. You're better than that.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah, I know you
actually,
are. I know you are.
Yeah.
I actually do think
Short-termism.
there is an FU attitude amongst a lot of taxi drivers.
There is.
And they will take that aspect. But at the same time, I think if I'm going to pay by card, I'm going to pay by card. That's my
Yeah,
deal. So you ain't
yeah.
going to change much of the cash by doing that anyway.
Most people want to pay by card. They don't have cash, and this is why.
Certainly app-based customers.
Yeah. Most of them they pay by card, and that's why Taxi World have been kind enough to let that part of the, you know, the deal slide into a direct payment to the drivers. I
Okay,
believe.
so I have another question then. So basically on other apps, you're kind of paying beforehand. You're booking the cab, the card is in, and the fare will be taken. And in your situation, the fare is planned and booked, and then I turn up and then take the fare, and then they pay at the end just using the normal credit card system. So they can't get it. You have to remember then which app firm you're working for, so they don't just get out
It
the door
doesn't
and
come
walk
through
away.
your phone. It's on. It's built into the thing. So
Yeah,
the
you see
hail
it.
comes out of the pin pad in the front. You know what? You've used it.
Yeah.
The Taxiwell
So
system.
there's no
Hail-
app in a sense. The app is in the LEVC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the passenger would have an app, called Jump, and basically they would just hail. I don't know if you can see that.
I'll put it on.
But the passenger just basically puts the destination in, and hails the vehicle, and then it arrives.
It's a hailing service, you know. It's
Yeah.
not like a taxi app as such, where you know all them things that you've got. They're like a platform. This is more of a hailing service. So it just gets you the cab, and you pay in the cab. It's very, very straightforward, simple.
Also, what we've got, obviously, there's the tip-in algorithm. We've made it really easy for passengers to say, yeah, I do want to give John a couple of quid. Done. It automatically pops up. It works out what was the fare, work out what's a fair tip to ask for, where they will say yes every time. So we've got that in place, and that works really well. So 87 to 90% of the time you're going to get a tip. Now that will also cover your processing fees. And if it doesn't, Taxi World have said they will pay the difference. So for example, if the tips didn't cover the processing fees by a £5, we'll pay you the £5 to cover. So you completely will cover your tips. Your tips will completely cover your transaction fees that you've paid us. Plus, put into that the Jump Jobs, commission free. You're quid's in. You're up.
Yeah,
You're up from any other app or payment system out there, because we can pretty much, the way it's set up, guarantee that you're going to get a tip.
Yeah.
87, 90% of the time.
So are you trying to get more drivers then? Is that a purpose?
Trying to get more drivers as well. So, 6,000 odd. Obviously, we want to grow that. As the app grows as well, obviously, we want to make sure that we've got the coverage. But yeah, to get more drivers on with the system, and look beyond the processing fees. It's not all about the processing fees. It's the tip guarantee, we call it, the cameras, the equipment, the support that goes on around it, the Jump Jobs, and there'll be more things that we can offer drivers as benefits and perks of having our system and having the support, and us investing in the trade and the drivers to help them, help them with insurance claims and quotes, bring their quotes down, hopefully, premiums down. We are looking at insurance to try and, help drivers with that side of it. We are looking at other things as well, where we can put more money and more people in the back of the cab. That's our aim.
Yeah.
There's been it's taken a trade by storm, this app, by the way. I mean, everyone's talking about it. It's grown really quickly.
You're not just saying that, it's self-promotion.
No. It's proved it. I mean, people watching this will know.
Yeah.
That
Where's your
it's
proof?
a hot subject. Well, because I know.
You're not
because-
fake news.
No, I'm not fake news. Because it's in all my cabs. My drivers tell me all the time. Obviously, I'm on social media a lot. A lot of people follow me, and I talk about it a lot.
Paul, you've only got 7 cabs,
Yeah,
so it's not in many
And
cabs.
7
I
followers.
wish. 6 followers, 7 cabs,
No one can
and 3 of them
beat
are
my-
in here. 3 of them are in here.
No one can beat my followers.
No, Right, that's me.
Minus, that's you.
Me.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, it is taking the trade by storm. It's only been going 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months.
6
properly,
months, and it's honestly, I mean, I've got a little group of drivers that I talk to about it, and some of them are getting more offers on that than any other apps per day, and that is for 6 months incredible. The growth that I've seen some figures. The percentage growth is going up between 50 and 100% per week.
Yep.
Of offers and jobs completed. There's a but. People are using this word divisive. It's a divisive app. It's dividing the trade. How? I can't understand in my lifetime how something as good as this and as positive as this is for the trade can be divisive. It don't make sense to me.
Well, they're not putting forward an argument, so they're just throwing the word divisive around.
I can't have it. I can't have it. I can't have it. That's
Why
what they
can't
keep
I have
saying. Well, I don't know. Because they're in a taxi, or they own a taxi, or they're renting a taxi that doesn't have it. It doesn't mean you can't have it, does it?
And that's what their definition
That's their
of
argument.
divisive is.
That's their argument. And I'm sitting here saying it, and I'm thinking to myself,
Nah.
the more I say it, the more strange it sounds. You know,
I think
because there's
they're
nothing
using-
divisive
they're,
about
They're
it.
using the wrong word. They ain't
Yeah.
divisive.
No, it isn't.
That's,
It's a business decision. You make your decision based on what you believe is the right thing for you in your business. You know, it's like when the LEVC came out. You know, that's dividing the trade. Well, no, because cabs evolve, card systems evolve, apps evolve, things change. Things, you know, you're jumping ship because now you were supporting that app before, now you're supporting this app. Well, things change. You get something better comes along, and you see it for what it really is, and you support it because you think it's the right thing.
it's only divisive if I basically cannot use it.
Say for instance, you're driving a cab with something else and you're renting it off someone else, and he hasn't got that system, then you ain't got it, have you?
No, but there's still choice involved.
That's
there
a
somewhere.
choice.
Anyone could have it. Anyone can go into Brewery Road, Tottenham Hale, Ascot's, have it fitted, and start using it and start.
What's the
getting
fee for me to have it
benefits.
fitted?
There's no fee. There's
So-
no fee. All we ask every driver is use it for every car payment. That's all we ask.
Right.
You know.
And that pays for it. That pays for the development of the app. It pays for all the equipment you've got in your vehicle, and of course, it's not the cheapest transaction fee. It's not.
Oh,
but
that's
it gives you the most. So that's the business
What is the transaction
decision.
fee?
So it's
93%.
It's
It's more than everyone else.
It's 3. Yeah, well, there are others out there that are exactly the same, 3.75 and 20 pence per transaction. But like I say, and I keep saying it, is you got to kind of look. It's important, but you need to put that to one side and look at everything, all the benefits, the reliability of the system, the tipping algorithm, the tip guarantee, the cameras, the jump jobs now. You know, all of that, actually, the 3.75 then becomes, do you know what? For 3.75 and 20 pence per job, I'm getting a hell of a lot for my money that no one else is doing. No one else is doing what we're doing in terms of all of that.
20%. By the way, that 20 pence is on your meter. It was put on many years ago. I don't know the exact year, and you'll probably be able to find it when you Google it and whatever, or go back in your Hackney law. £4.20 is your flag fall. £4 is your flag fall. The 20p is per credit card transaction. That's on there. You're getting paid that,
Okay.
right? So 3.75 is what you pay per transaction, but in that you get all that investment that they've put into putting this app out
Okay,
for
now,
us.
now I've
For
got
us.
to roll you back
Yeah.
now,
Go
because you basically, it doesn't matter how high the fee is, because you said you're guaranteeing me to get that back
In tips.
in tips.
So you will earn more tips with our system because, like I say, we make it easy for the passenger. Most passengers want to give you something, yeah? Most passengers want to give you something.
My tip guarantee is 100%.
Is it? Oh, right, okay.
But it can be. Quite a lot of the time it is.
Fake news,
If you
Paul.
chat them up,
As soon as I start talking, that's when I lose my tip.
Right.
But, you know, no, but for cab drivers, I always say this, read the room. If you want a tip, read the room. And then 9 times out of 10, you'll get a tip.
yeah.
Read the room.
And I think, because I know I want a tip every time.
Yeah.
But what I don't want to do is mess around trying to work out how to do it.
Yeah.
So what we've got is a yes or a no, green or red, tick or X.
Yeah.
You can't get it any simpler. So 9 times out of 10, you'll look at it and go, £2, yes, thank you for the
Because it ain't putting an unreasonable amount up, it's putting a reasonable amount up. A lot of drivers complain about it. Oh, it's not enough by each one. I want them to tip 20%. Well, you've got to work very hard to get a 20% tip. Or I want a 15% tip. Or
Hold
a
on.
10% tip.
I don't work for tips.
No, I don't. I've never ever.
I drive the cab.
Never,
but it
ever,
helps.
ever.
Tips.
But it all helps, doesn't it? And
it helps. Money's
it
money, it's
covers,
nice, isn't it?
if it covers the transaction fees and you know helps you along a
Can
little
I take a
bit,
different
then great.
perspective than at looking at this from a different angle, which is obviously there are tips involved. But let's just say that in essence, I'm going to get exactly what the meter says because the percentage of the transaction is going to be covered in a tips. We'll forget the fact that the tips even come in, but enough tips
Yeah.
will come in to cover that. So in essence, every single job I do with Jump, I am going to get the meter or a little bit more in my pocket, regardless of the percentage taken.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what you're saying.
And that's not just jump jobs, that's street jobs as well. That's any job that's paid on a card.
On your machines.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
The jump is a massive bonus, I think, because what you're doing is you're taking away that problem that you had before where you have to pay up to 20% for the job. Yeah? You take that away completely. That work is now in the back of your cab for free, and you're just paying what you paid on the street. That can only be positive. That can only be great for us. And for a company to come in and do it and get called divisive, for me, that's unbelievable.
when they pay the 20% to whoever,
Yeah.
do they also pay a credit card charge on that as well, or is that all included?
To the other apps,
Yes.
20% is included, so that includes
So
VAT.
basically, I'm 17.5% up, or
Yes.
17% up.
And your customer is. That your customer pays your wages at the end of the day. They've not got to pay it, the 20% or whatever it is they pay, the surcharge, the booking fee. You've not got to pay the 20% erosion of your meter. So it's perfect. And the fact that, like I said, the fact that we've been given this to use is a tool for us, an extra way of making more money going forward. And it ain't going anywhere.
Where's the
Not
negatives?
going anywhere.
I'm trying to. The divisive thing is a non-argument. They're using,
It's a
they're using
non-argument.
the wrong word.
But I have to make that clear that that's what's going on.
So there are some people claiming it's divisive. Do you don't think divisive? They've just cropped up with a word they've checked in a dictionary. Let's say it's divisive because
But it's
splitting the trade is basically what
Yeah.
the description is.
yeah.
I don't know. I often see this cup. You can buy it or not buy it.
Yeah.
That's not divisive. That's just a choice of buy or not buy.
And that might be a better cup for the way you drink your tea.
The thing is, it sounds a little bit too good to me. So I'm looking suspiciously. Where's the?
Well, I think, sorry, El, what I think is that there's a lot of app work out there. And if that goes in the back of a cab and is a processing fee, then it's great for that company. But it's also great for us. You know, there's a hell of a lot. If they're looking at how many jobs are processed on their meters, and they're seeing drivers are getting 80% processing from Get Off Free Now, that should be jump jobs. Now that we've got that system, that should all be jump jobs, and all them drivers that are paying that percentage should be promoting jump.
Okay. Well, I figured the $1 million question is: are you doing PHV as well?
No,
Can't.
absolutely not. No.
Can't.
So we're Black Cab, always have been Black Cab. Meters, payment systems, it's only in Black Cabs. So, but we wouldn't want to.
So you've basically ticked every box, Lorenzo.
Like you said at the start, it's kind of a no-brainer, and there's more stuff to come. There's more benefits to come later on down the line, anything that we can do to get more people in the back of the cab, which means you earn more money, we earn more money, we can keep investing that in, you guys can keep, investing and paying your bills and everything else, and we try and bring it all back to how it was in terms of, the fairness. There's a meter, you just pay the meter. That's it. No one really should be paying any more than that, in my opinion.
And if you didn't have this 6,000 base to start with, you would be on a kind of a very, very big uphill struggle.
Yeah.
But that's why the other ones haven't worked, mate.
No, I know. You need
because
the drivers to cover the
it's
jobs.
starting from nothing, and they've built this before the app. They've built up the systems before the app.
But if we look at how many vehicles have got the system, so 6,500 odd, that was all done within a year, 18 months, before even Jump was even talked about. Yeah, so that for me is Taxi World. I've done a really good job in terms of the system, how they've built it, the reliability of it, the Taxi World, the good name that they've always had in terms of, good, reliable meters, good, reliable payment systems and things like that. So they gained almost half already within a really short period of time. That to me speaks volumes in terms of, it's a good system. People like it and it's reliable. There's a backup system if something goes wrong, which things will from time to time happen, but there's a backup system on your phone to take the payment. for the customer. You know, a really easy way where they just download a QR code and they can pay the fare.
So the fare fails, the credit card machine fails, there's a backup system.
There's a backup system, which is quite rare, but you know, on occasion it's going to happen. But it's there. They've thought of everything. They really have.
I want to know who was the genius who thought of it.
So that would have been
Me.
you wish,
I said genius, Paul. Genius and the word Paul Byron. don't
Thank
go
you
in the
very
same
much,
sentence.
Dean. Yeah.
So Jill Payton and the team at Taxi World, it's something that they've obviously wanted to do for a very long time. And with the payment system that's installed, gave them the ability to bring it to market, basically. You know, so
They wanted to do it many years ago, but
Yeah.
Halo came along, and they thought that was really good, so they sort of let that go. And they were always thinking of, they wanted to do an app. But Taxi World's, you know, a company that's been around the game for many, many years.
Yes, but for me,
You know.
it seems a little bit obvious. There was a unique position that you hold with what it is that you already do in the industry that has given you this jump.
yeah.
There's loads of little ins for that,
I didn't
that
mean
word.
that.
No, but it works.
This
There's
leap-
loads of ins.
This leap of how you got into this. I mean, starting from the ground up, you can't really do it. But if every cab driver who was coming out would join onto the same app, if every single cab driver joined on the same app, that would be one massive coup d'etat. Then you just need the passengers.
Yeah.
But no one could ever achieve that. But what you've actually achieved is the first part first, which is you have a base of taxis already.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't have really been a genius to think of it in a sense. So I take back the genius statement. Who was the idiot that came up with the idea? It was kind of very basic. It sounds amazing, really, amazingly simple. And this is me talking about our trade now from the loving point. We actually always have needed a singular union, a singular app, just being a singular. This diversive is that. This fact of having this multitude of things that are all not quite cut.
Yeah, there's lots of split opinions. But I'll tell you what really I love about this app is I keep saying efficiency, but because it's linked to the meter, the system knows when you've got a passenger. Whereas all the other apps, you've got to do it yourself on your phone. So you've got your phone in front of you, and you've got to keep telling it that you've got POB. And most of the time, drivers don't remember to do it. So it's pinging off. Customers think that there's all them cabs around them. There ain't, because they're either on a job or don't want to accept an app job because of the 20%. This one knows, because it knows your meter's engaged already, so it's POB. So that one gets taken out of the platform.
Okay,
It's
so
not,
give
it's
me
not
the
being
run.
dispatched, right?
Give me the run in then. So I basically, it pings up on my thing. I fare on first finger first out, the first 5 in the area. I bang on it. I've got the fare. Now, can I cancel it?
What, you as the driver
Yeah.
or the passenger?
Me. I've managed to be the fastest finger first, and I'm now
You
got
can
the
cancel
fare.
it.
You can cancel it, but again, you know,
Repeatedly doing it, there's going to be consequences, but
no,
having a reason.
No, listen, we found that some people cancel, and that might just purely be because where they are, or
There's loads of reasons why you cancel jobs.
but it's very rare.
Loads.
Actually,
It is.
It's very rare.
There's only one real reason. I've basically got a fare stand on the corner, and I can't be bothered to drive up till you get the one that I just pinged
that
for.
isn't
But
the only
you're going to
reason.
be close. You're going to be close.
You're going to be close
to it as well. The passenger has told you where they're going as well,
You know where they're going.
so you know where they're going. The one on the street, you don't know where he's going. The only time it won't tell you is some of the hotels that are using our system. We call it kiosk. It's basically a desktop system. They can use it on their phone. Yeah, so there's a hotel that basically we can link up the concierge, the doorman, the reception, the porters. They can all see and order cabs, and everyone can see who's
Right.
ordered what and everything else. So that's the only time where on occasion, some of the busier hotels where we've given them the ability to not have to put a destination in. So that could be because the passenger doesn't want anyone to know where they're going. Some of these guys are, they just want to jump in a cab. Just call me a cab, I'll get in. I don't need to tell you where I'm going. Some of them are really busy where they just like to just hail it, so it comes quickly. So some of them hotels, we've given them the ability to just hail the cab and it arrives, and then the passenger goes. So, but otherwise, the street.
And
person.
these jobs, these kiosk jobs that were on the other apps, we could charge a lot of money for those jobs, because sometimes you wouldn't get them. You'd turn up and they'd already got in another cab, which happened a lot. But also you'd have to pay commission for that job, so you're 20%. Plus, it would say cash job on the thing when you get the job, but then you'd have to pay your transaction fee, because they'd always want to pay by card. So you end up paying up to 24% for those jobs. Yeah. And I think one of the apps has just started to thought they'd change it, and they'd just charge you £4 for each job the time you go and pick one of them up. So that could be for, I don't know, a £10 job, that could be 40%. You know, so
so
you know,
it's
these ways that they've tried to sort of like repay their investment. Taxi World don't do any of that. None of it. It's completely the opposite.
Yeah, we don't charge the hotel or restaurant anything to have the system. It's a web-based page. They just log in, order the cabs as and when they need them. That's it. We don't charge them. There's no contracts. We're not tying them into anything. You know, and they've been very kind of receptive of it, because they just want a reliable system. You know, I've learned a lot over the last 6 months going into, you know, all of these places and understanding what they want. And at the end of the day, all they want is to order a cab for their guest and get them gone. You know, they don't want them hanging about. They don't want to stand in the street trying to find a cab or hail a cab.
Yeah.
They just kind of want to give a good service to their guest. And all we want to do is get a cab there quick enough for them to jump in. Now, some of them are going to jump in other cabs that pass by. We're going to lose some here and there, but that's just the nature of it.
Yeah.
And if you're the closest 5, you're round the corner. It's not massive issue. You haven't travelled 2 miles to get to that job for it to be not there. You know, but for the hotels side of it or restaurant, you know, they see a lot of cancellations. Drivers don't turn up because of the 20%, and I get it.
But like I said, 24%. You know, when you go to for an hotel, it could be up to 24-25%, depending on who you're using. You know, it's just a lot.
So how many shares you got in this NHS?
No, nothing. I honestly am so enthusiastic about it.
You know they're going to think that there's an ulterior. It always with you, Paul.
Oh,
I think
of course,
finger is
everyone's
going
to have to think the worst. But at the end of the day, I would love to have the super sides on all my cabs. That would be a great thing to see out there.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's the fact that, you know, we've finally got something that our drivers can be excited about, something positive. And I'm all about positivity. You know I am. You know, I just want to see us have an app that I know that every Londoner can have on their phone and get a taxi. That also, the other thing I want to do, I want to see us do, is take back some of the areas that we've lost. You know, like Canary Wharf. You don't hardly get any cab work out of there anymore.
Oh, really?
There's no reason why we can't jump over the island and nick back a load of that work.
Yeah.
Nick back a load of that
That's
account
my
work.
next target.
I know.
That's my next
I know.
target.
I've heard.
Well, let me
It's
say, cut it there. Well,
Yeah.
But that sounds amazing to me.